And I'm so happy about this question because we at DI we have 18,000 member companies, and the majority of them are SMEs. So we know them well, and we also know that we have to start by focusing on their reality and their everyday business, no matter what size. Basically, we cannot introduce digital solutions to the smallest businesses that don't fit in their DNA. So to me, it's very simple, and I think the solution is dialogue, best practices, matchmaking, case inspiration, very concrete case inspiration, skills, and education. These are some of the elements that are really, really important, I think, to kind of like match SMEs reality and get digitization going there where they are. And then just to round up, I mean, today we are interlinked. Large and small companies are completely connected. They are typically sub-suppliers, to a larger company, these SMEs. So you can say, by enhancing value chain approach, I think we can get really far. I mean, it's ecosystems delivering solutions basically, and they are fit for exports once established, but we have to think large and small companies together.
I think we are blessed in Denmark with having one of the highest startup rates in the world. If you look at how we create companies, it's one of the highest in the world. I think one of the challenges we have is going from an entrepreneurial culture to actually have a scale up of these companies. We can see that they don't become growth companies. A lot of the companies, they stay very small. So we have to think. First of all, it's an advantage that we have this entrepreneurial spirit in Denmark, but we have to think how we actually make our companies grow. And I think one of the things that's important is, of course, capital. How do we ensure that there is a capital enough for these small and medium enterprises? But it's also about creating a culture of getting these companies to grow. You also have to have an environment where you have these companies wishing to grow in a faster way. And I think it's actually, if you look at the Danish startup environment, I think we've moved it a lot the last 10 years in a very positive direction. So I think it's going in the right way.
Well, maybe just to complement that, because I agree we have done a lot for the startups in Denmark. The very large companies, they can handle themselves. They are very competent and they have enormous resources in Denmark. I just wanted to also draw the attention to the middle-sized companies, because the middle-sized companies in Denmark, they don't grow either. There are very, very few growth adventures out there. There are very few that become the new Danfoss and the new Grundfos and the new Kamstrup. And I think that's actually a very big problem for our society and our economy. And I agree with Bettina, sometimes it's about the culture. We have made recently actually an analysis among these middle-sized, like the strong middle-sized companies who have a very strong business fundament and a business model. Many of them are owned by families, for generations. As you know, in Denmark, that's very typical. And many of them, they don't grow because simply maybe they don't have the ambition or the motivation to become even bigger, because they have earned their share and they have a good life and they have become middle-sized, but very few of them takes this enormous step to become large ones. And I think that's also an interesting sector we have to look at. How do we help them? How do we create a culture of growth adventures, but how we also can maybe create incentives and give them even more competencies to grow somehow.
I agree to that. I think coming back to where we started, one of the things that you actually need to do in this area is digitalization. Some of these companies, which I think need to have a new speed on their digitalization processes, new business models, and so on, and so they can actually grow faster. But I think that has a lot of potential because we have a strong foothold in these SME companies in Denmark.